Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. We are live here post-game after the Miami Heat got their first victory of the season against the Memphis Grizzlies on the road, beating the Memphis Grizzlies 146 to 114. This was the third highest scoring game in Miami history. They also scored, I believe, 84 points at half, which was the most they've ever scored in any half in Miami Heat history. I'm here with Coach Gio, aka Gio Valdez. How are you doing today, Gio?
I'm doing great, Amir, man. Thanks for having me on. What a game, dude. That was really nice to see. I'm excited for this season, man. I really am.
I am too, man. And the key mantra whenever the Miami Heat lose a game is typically a bounce back. Bam always posts that online. And what a bounce back that was after losing a tough game against the Orlando Magic 2 days ago in the season opener on the road. A game where we could have won. I'm not going to say should have won, but could have won. Um, but yeah, what a huge performance all around. And like we honestly, this offense. Let's get into the offense. Obviously, we want to talk about the shift in strategy. This is like Coach Spo Antonio or Spo Antoni right here. This is like the Phoenix Suns run and gun style with pace and space. So, what are your vibes now with like this new look offense
You know, I
going into
was
the season?
texting, I was texting a few of my buddies towards the end of that game. If you look, Miami's just in better shape than Memphis was. It kind of gave me vibes, and I messaged you as well. I said, man, this looks like when you go to LA Fitness and you're like in great shape and you're playing against a bunch of old guys. Because Memphis, towards the end, Miami was just running roughshod on them. And there's a lot of good things that I'm seeing, man. There's a lot of good changes. I think if you look back at every single possession, they crossed half court before 20 seconds were left on the shot clock. There was rarely any pick and rolls. I think there was less than 30 pick and rolls for the entire game. The ball's not sticking. There was probably one bad possession all game, and it was like Norm Powell was like given a grenade, right? He had to like shoot the shot because we just kept passing it. But really, there's no ball stoppers. Everybody's 3 seconds, 4 seconds tops, and they're either getting the shot up, passing the ball, doing something, moving off the ball. I'm curious to see how this offense looks once Tyler returns. If you ask me, I mean, it's never going to happen, but I think they'd be best suited to have him come off the bench as like the sixth man. But they're definitely going to start him with Norm, and then we'll see how it looks with that starting five. But I'm really excited to see the potential offensively for this team. Today they showed up on defense because last game against Orlando they kind of were picked apart by Franz Wagner. But let's see, man. This team was really exciting today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you see a world where Tyler and Davion are starting when Tyler comes back and Norm comes off the bench as he's the new guy, obviously on the block? Like, do you see a world where Davion is not starting? So even though he had a quiet game tonight, only 21 minutes, it was a blowout. The game was basically over in the first quarter. The Heat were up by like 25 or 28, whatever it was in the first
Hmm.
quarter. Bam did he have 20 points in the first quarter?
Yes,
20
yes.
points in the first quarter, 4 for 5 from three, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Ridiculous game. Like the fact that he only finished with 24 points pissed me off. He did get cold in that third quarter, but who cares? It was fine. But Davion only played 21 minutes, only 2 points, but only took two attempts, and still though had 7 assists. He had three turnovers, a little more turnovers than we would hope for compared to
Hmm.
the first game. He had a 12-to-1 assist ratio, which was ridiculous. But with his playmaking, with his ability to push pace and his point of attack defense, his dribble penetration, getting into the paint and driving and kicking, like he's actually getting downhill pretty successfully. I'm actually
Yeah.
surprised how successful he is, especially against Orlando, who was the second best defense in the NBA behind
Hmm.
the champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, but the way he's been playmaking, even tonight in limited minutes, still 7 assists, huge output for him in that perspective. Do you see him coming off the bench when Tyler gets back? Because I know Tyler is not going to be coming off the bench.
Yeah, I see Davion being the guy that comes off the bench just because, we all love Drew Smith, but I mean, come on, man. They paid Davion comparable to what other guys that come off the bench at his position get paid. What I see, even though Wiggs is a good defender, he's probably not the same athletically or defensively as he was during those Golden State runs. But what I see for them is, them starting Tyler with Norm. Norm probably guarding the secondary ball handler. And then depending on matchups, right? Like Wiggs would be the guy guarding the other team's best wing player. But it depends, right? Because some wing players might, like, let's say Tatum gets healthy and Tatum comes back. I can easily see Bam guarding Tatum, and you have what's this Wiggs guard Jalen Brown. Like who knows? But at the end of the day, I think when Tyler comes back, they're gonna have their highest paid players starting. Maybe not Nico because we saw today kind of a surprise that Khalil started, and it actually went pretty well. So maybe Spo continues with that. But I see it being Tyler, Norm, Wiggs, Bam, and Khalil, and then they're just gonna play the three bigs, right? Like two of them are going to always be on the floor. Between by the bigs, I mean Khalil, Bam, and Nico.
For sure. What were
Yeah.
your thoughts on Kalel starting tonight versus Nico? And why do you think Spo made the change so suddenly, especially against a team that doesn't have the size? Because Zach Edey's injured. I understand. I would understand if Edey was playing, but like didn't have that many bigs out there. They have Triple J, who is
Hmm.
kind of undersized like Bam, good rim protector, a good defender, but you have Santi, Aldama, and basically him. Like there's no Zach Edey. Brandon Clark is always injured. It seems like always never available. So why do you think you made the switch so suddenly to put Kalel back into the starting lineup?
I don't think it was anything that either player did wrong or did good. I think it was more so the simple fact that offensively, that second unit would just thrive easier with Nico coming off the bench. So as you see currently, since Davion is with the starters and the way that they stagger the lineups, I believe for that first game, you had Khalil coming in, Simone, and although Simone gave you great things, there's really not an initiator there. But if you bring Nico in off the bench, and as you've seen, the first game and even tonight, the first guy off the bench has been Jaime,
I was
right?
surprised by that actually. Like him coming
Yeah.
off as the sixth man. I thought it was gonna be like the eighth man off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
People were talking about even beforehand that Pella might be ahead of him.
Pella, yeah. But I'm assuming, remember, people saw Pella during the Euro games, but they didn't see training camp, right? They didn't see Jaime, what was being done behind closed doors. And as we see, Jaime has been probably the best bench player along with Simone the first few games. But I really like the lineup of Nico with Jaime, with Simone, and I think Drew as
True.
being those four guys. And then, because you usually Spo runs that nine-man rotation. Obviously, tonight was an exception because it was a blowout. But I really do like that lineup. And then imagine once Tyler comes back, instead of it being Drew, you have Davion. So now we're talking about a team that has a little bit more depth with guys that can actually create. And you can give Bam and Khalil and all these guys a blow because then you don't have to worry about having them on the floor at all times because you need someone to initiate when you can have Nico and you can have Davion be those guys.
That makes more sense. I agree with that because Davion doesn't need the ball in his hands to make an impact. Even Nico, like he looks better when he has the ball in his hands,
Hmm.
but he was playing off ball when Drew, like him and Drew were essentially kind of taking turns bringing the ball up and down the court, and both are unselfish. And so he's gotten a lot of catch and shoot threes, and that's how typically Nico attempts his threes. Like he's not doing pull up threes or off a lot of movement. Usually it's catch and shoot. So I agree with that. Yeah, I still personally would rather have Davion start with Tyler, and
Yeah.
because he's our best point of attack defender, honestly, and that way you don't have to have Bam on the perimeter. You could still have him roaming a little bit, kind of as that free safety. And then if Kalal's going to start with him, like both of them can be interchangeable in a sense, like down low. But I prefer Norm coming off the bench. He's on an expiring contract. It's his first year on the team. He's 32 years old. Like, we're not going to downgrade Tyler back to the bench. So if anybody would fit into that role, it could be Norm. And like the firepower, like having a Norm come off the bench versus a Davion and Nico, like you have Nico as the primary ball handler coming off the bench if Davion starts with Tyler. Then you have Powell, who's going to have all of the usage and going against second units. Like this guy can cook starting lineups in the NBA. Like imagine him going against the second units with Nico pushing the pace, with Jaime Jaquez playing in the mid post, like having Simone out there as well as a 3-point shooter. You have Nico who can shoot. You have Simone who can shoot. You have Jovic who can shoot. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but like I personally like that idea, but I'm also a proponent of playing your best five. Like, who
Yeah.
cares about the money perspective? Because Powell is a steal in general, making 20 million
Yeah.
a
No,
season.
I
But I
get
understand
you.
that.
I
But like,
get you. I think listen, point of attack is important. Davion is the best point of attack defender by far on this team. And I get that. But also I just don't see it. And ideally what you would want to do is make a consolidation trade, right? Send two guys out because they're very, deep as it comes to wings. Maybe like a Wiggins with a Simone, send them out for a guy that you can upgrade to with a few of the picks that you have. But as we see, it's in the current NBA infrastructure, is very hard to do that. Really, that's easier to make incremental increases, like what Miami did by trading Kyle and Caleb for a Norm. So ideally, that's what you would want to do, right? Free up Jaime to be that second forward, I guess you want to say, and have a guy come in so that you don't have to worry about, who's going to start. But I just think I think because they're going to play the two bigs, or who knows, but because you're going to see Bam with Kalel, think of this as Miami's version. I'm not saying that they're the same, but think of this as Miami's version of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, but with guys that are better defenders. Because I would say Tyler's a better defender than Darius, and I would say that Norm is probably a better defender than Donovan is. Now, they're not better offensively, but
mhm,
they are better defenders.
I agree with that as well. So after this game, crazy game, winning by how much did we win by? 24, 34, 44, 32 points. Doing the math on my fingers. Um, 30 plus point victory. This is the first Miami Heat victory. Gio, do you know since when?
Sheesh, playing?
Playing. Who do we play second game? Bulls or Hawks?
Hawks was
Bulls.
the second game.
Hawks.
It was Bulls then Hawks, yeah.
Yeah, obviously. We've played them so many times every single year for the last 3 years.
Sheesh.
The
Yeah.
last time the Miami Heat had a victory was in the play-in tournament because we went 0-4 against the Cavs in the playoffs. Preseason we went 0-6, and then we went 0-1. So after 11 games,
Wow.
11 game losing streak finally ended tonight. And yes, the Memphis Grizzlies are not the best team, but still they're a Western team. They have a lot of injuries. Scottie Pippen Jr. is out. Ty Jerome, who's
Hmm.
a new Miami Heat scrub killer, as we saw last year in Cleveland, was out. Zach Edey is out, but still, it's
They
hard
have
to
they have
win.
they have two all-stars. They have a depoy on their team. You can never count them out because technically, if you were to ask the pundits, not you and I, but if you were to ask the pundits, Memphis has the two best players on in this matchup. I don't believe that, but that's what the pundits would
On
say
paper, on
on
national,
paper.
they would say that
Hmm.
for sure. I agree. So I mean, a win's a win, and I'm happy. A road win is also
Yeah.
important for this Miami Heat team. But I'm just pleasantly surprised after this game, and I don't know if they're going to be able to sustain this type of offense. But based on this new philosophy, it seems like Spo is adapting to not having Jimmy Butler and playing a half court
Hmm.
slow pace uh, style of basketball. You mentioned offline, like the pick and rolls. Last game was 29 on average. Last season, we would have like 41 per game or whatever it was. I don't
Well,
know what.
41 was the lowest amount last
Yeah,
season.
lowest actually. So the average was even higher. So is this sustainable? Like, is this like right now we have to be the highest scoring team in the NBA? I'm assuming after 2 games, after tonight's 146 and 125.
I don't think so, just because OKC has been in 2 overtime games and there's been a few double overtime.
Oh, that's true. We'll
I
take
would
that
tell,
out. That's an anomaly.
yeah, I would tell you this. I think it's sustainable, and this is the reason why. I think Spo realizes the gifts of the guys that he has. He might even give up a little bit of the defense because he knows that he has Bam there to settle things down. But I think it's sustainable because they're a deep team, and I'm not talking about deep like how OKC is deep.
Right.
I mean deep in the sense of guys that can do the same thing, that you can kind of put guys in spots, right? Like you have Nico, you have Jaime, you have Tyler, you have Norm, you have Bam, like they can easily go 10 deep and everybody kind of fill in a role. So you don't have to have one guy play 42 minutes a night, right? Like you can have probably Bam, Norm, Wiggs, and Tyler play at most 34 minutes. Just because you can play 10 guys. Now, obviously, there's going to be nights where you need a dub. You're playing against a team on national TV. You have, you got Giannis in town, or you have, OKC in town, and you extend those guys' minutes. But I think it's very sustainable. And also, there's only like 3 guys on the team well, 2 guys now, because Terry's probably not going to play this year. You only have 2 guys above the age of 30, which is Norm,
Right.
who's a young 32, and you have Wiggins, who's 30. So it's very sustainable. You have a bunch of young dudes.
For sure. How shocked are you in regards to the 3-point shooting? Because I was talking to my boy Adele, um, and he was talking about going into the season. He was worried about the lack of 3-point shooting with Tyler Hero out, with us trading Duncan Robinson to the Detroit Pistons. He wasn't sure that we were going to have enough firepower in order to keep up with the analytics of today's modern basketball, which is, shooting a ton of 3-pointers. So we've been shooting well. Like tonight, we shot 48%, 19 for 40. Last game
Hmm.
against the Magic, I think we made 18 for 40 something, like the same percentage as the Magic. I think it was like
The
37.
Magic, the Magic shot a little bit better, but we were above league average.
It was like
We were
37%, right?
37%. Yeah,
Somewhere around that. Like is
yeah.
that sustainable? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because in the
I
preseason,
th-
we couldn't shoot for shit,
I
right? And
think
like,
it's yeah. I think it's sustainable if they play this style. The ball finds energy. If you have every single person on the court feeling as if they're involved, those shots are going to go down. Now, if the ball starts to stick, you know, and then the offense gets muddy and the shots are contested, that's a different story. If you look, most of these shots were just off the flow of pass, catch and shoot, replace. Like it was very, very smooth basketball. And you have a lot of plus 3-point shooters, right? So we don't have an elite guy like a Duncan, but you have plus guys. Simone is a plus 3-point shooter. Norm is elite. If you look at every metric, every single metric for his entire career, he's been an elite 3-point shooter. So you got Norm. Wiggins is a plus shooter. Kalel and Bam, although they're stepping into it, for bigs, they're okay. They're
for their
okay. All you
size, they're
need,
okay. They're like in
all
the
you need,
low 30s. They need to be in the
all
mid
you
30s.
need.
They'll be set.
I think Bam has 2 years in a row where he's been 33 plus, right? But when we're looking at the guards, like Tyler, obviously, he won the 3-point shootout. You have a bunch of plus guys, right? Like you're not expecting Kashad and Pella and Jaime to be plus 3-point shooters, but everybody else really around them is, right? So if you have a bunch of above average shooters, and then you have the elite guys in Tyler and Norm, I think they can sustain it. Will they be top 10 in the league? Maybe not. But if they're at least league average, right? And they can be a top 12 defensive team, I think they can be a top 4 to 5 seed in the East. It won't be easy, but I think they can do it.
Yeah, I projected that they're probably going to fall like in the 6th seed. I think I ultimately said most likely 7th seed,
Hmm.
and that I was basing that just on potential injuries because we do seem to have
Yeah. Yeah.
the injury bug more than other teams. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously other teams have dealt with injuries. That's part of basketball. But it just feels like every year we've had a pretty significant injury
Yeah.
for
You're
the
right.
last since LeBron's left. Like essentially,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Basically.
That happens across the sport, but I just there's always some teams that are more injured than others for some reason, and we seem to get some of the fluky ones at the wrong times.
Yeah.
But I see them. I don't know. I was thinking like they
44
could.
wins is what I got. 44 wins is that's what I think they can get.
I think I
44.
said somewhere around there too, somewhere around that range. But like yeah, like if everything goes right and they have luck also on their side where they're healthy and other teams can
Mm-hmm.
sustain injuries. You don't know who else in the East is going to get out. Donovan Mitchell can get hurt. Jalen Brunson can get hurt. Towns can get hurt. Jalen Brown, you know what I mean? You never
Well,
know. Like I'm
I'll
not
tell you.
banking on that. I hope none of that happens. But I'm saying like if that happens and we stay healthy,
Well, let's go through it. Let's go through it real quick, okay? So Cleveland, obviously, we know Cleveland. They're top, right? Okay. You still have
Knicks,
the Knicks, who they're gonna be one or two. Orlando, who's gonna be tough. Because they just and they added shooting. They added what they needed the most. So those are probably the
Bane's a good
three
defender too.
teams.
Hey, but you also
Yeah.
put Bane next to Jalen Suggs. That, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, they're the best starting defensive backcourt in the NBA. And it doesn't hurt that.
Uh,
Then
oh,
I can think of
defensive. You're talking about.
yeah, defensive backcourt.
Okay. I gotta probably go through that, but maybe you're right. Um,
And I haven't thought of it, but I'm just like I haven't
yeah,
done thought exercise. But like Desmond Bain is a plus defender. Jalen Suggs is known for his defense, right? And
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I think they're probably the best starting defensive backcourt in the NBA. And it doesn't hurt that Desmond Bain is also a 20 plus point scorer, for the last however many seasons with Memphis, and he's obviously doing that now. I haven't checked any other box scores across the league today except for
Mm-hmm.
the Heat game, but he had
Yeah, I mean,
23 against the Heat.
and he also gave up 29 to Norman Powell.
Fair enough.
But but I'll tell you this. Those are probably clear cut the top three teams in the East. Detroit, if you want to add them in there, they lost a huge piece in Malik Beasley, but they replaced it with Duncan. We'll see how that pans out for them. I
They
think
should
they're
be
a
top
good.
five, right? Sorry to cut you off.
I
They were
I
sixth
think no,
last year.
yeah.
Now it's an easier East. They should at least go up one spot. Cade's going to be a superstar potentially, like at this rate. So
Honestly, and people, oh, coach, you're a homer. Listen, Miami has a full year of Davion, of Norm, and of Wiggins. They've added more than Detroit did. And I think those two teams will be very close. I think, me personally. I think those are the two teams that will be closest in terms of style, of play, and ruggedness and culture and all that. But you also have, listen, I'm not a big fan of Milwaukee's roster, but they
same.
do have a good bench and they have Giannis. They have Giannis, right? So there's always a shot that he alone can get you 50 wins. So right there, that's five teams. Indiana, even though they lost Turner and they lost Halliburton, they're going to be tough. I'm not saying they're going to be what they were last year, but I think they'll also be a playoff team and they'll be tough. Boston, I don't think is going to be a top 8 team, and I'm missing someone.
Sixers if healthy. If biggest caveat
Eh,
in the world, if healthy, dude, with VJ Edgecombe the way he played, Maxi, but the biggest there's no possibility in my I have no faith that Paul George and Embiid can stay healthy.
yeah, I
Like
like
if they
McCain.
both
I like
play
McCain and Edgecombe, and
and
they have they
McCain is
have
he's injury
McCain,
prone.
Edgecombe,
He's injury
McCain,
prone, it
Edge.
seems like,
He,
right?
I
No,
wouldn't say that. I think he's had just one injury,
he
but
was hurt last year and now he has a thumb injury.
But
How many
I
games did
wouldn't.
McCain play
I
last
think
year?
I wouldn't consider like he to me injury prone is like what Embiid is. But
Right.
we went through a few teams. I think Miami can easily be a top 6 team. I don't think they're a playing team. I think they're above that this year. I forgot a team. Atlanta.
All right.
Atlanta's another team that's there. So I see Miami fighting with like Atlanta and Detroit for one of those 4, 5, and 6 seeds. That's what I see them at this year.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I like Atlanta, but I just don't trust Trey Young. But I mean, he has new weapons like Porzingis. Like I mean,
He's
he's
never
injury prone.
healthy. Yeah,
He's
he
injury
is.
prone. But
I
Jalen
like
Jackson last
Johnson.
year,
I
Jalen
like, yeah,
or
Johnson.
Johnson.
I love
Sorry,
Jalen Johnson. I
he's
like
gonna be good.
Rizzo Rizzo is also good. I
Tyson
like
Daniels.
Okongwu, Dyson Daniels. I'm telling you, and
They
they
added what's
added
his name, Nikhil Alexander.
Nikhil and one of the greatest shooters in the league in Luke Kennard. So they're a nice team, but like, do they have enough? You know what I mean? Like, I would rather have other like I'd rather have Tyler and Bam over Trey and Jalen Johnson.
Me too. I agree with that. Do they have enough for what? To get a top six seed, you mean? Or
Atlanta, yeah, for sure. Atlanta, Detroit, Miami, and those and then Orlando, uh Chicago, I'm sorry, Orlando, Cleveland, and New York. Those are like the top 6 teams in the East for me.
okay. Yeah. I can definitely see that. And also Jared McCain, by the way, I looked it up, only played 23 games last year, and he's already out for probably the next month or two. So
Yeah. It's
unlucky
gonna
for the
be it's gonna be tough because they have Edgecombe and
Maxi.
yeah, I mean, if it's me, if I'm Philly, man, I'll try to get PG and Embiid and McCain out of there and try to see if I can put better pieces
Giannis. Get
around
Giannis
Maxi.
get Giannis, Maxi, and Edgedome.
Woo.
You can get Giannis, Bobby Portis, and like AJ Green for Paul George, Embiid, and who else did you say? McCain.
Yeah, Milwaukee's not gonna do that trade, but we'll
You
see
never
what
know.
happens, man. It's gonna be an interesting season. I really, I'm excited to see how this Heat team plays. I think they're going to be a top 6 team in the East. But let's see, man. I mean, this has been the most excited I've been about the NBA in quite a while, man. Like the NBA on NBC is back, MJ is back.
Oh, I love it.
There's so many superstars in the league. It's an international game. You have, like, if you look at it, the last American MVP was like Harden in 2008. Like, the game is just a beautiful game right now. So I'm excited to see how this season turns out.
For sure. And before we close out this live episode, so thank you to the people that are tuned in live on Twitter and YouTube. After tonight's game, whose stock is up and whose stock is down? And I don't mean down for the season or up for the season, but just in the current moment, like on the Miami Heat after this game tonight, like whose stock is up the most? Would you say? Like, give me a couple of like players.
So far, the first 2 games, I'd say the guy that has the highest stock in terms of just the performance off these first 2 games would be Jaime Jaquez. He's had a tremendous floor game, double digits on scoring each game. I think today he had like 16, 10, and 8. He's just being very efficient. His post game is just ridiculous. I'd say his stock is up right now. And then as far as guys that
I
are
agree.
stock is down, man, there hasn't really been anybody that's had just that has had a bad game so far. Like I mean, I guess I'd have to look at the box score numbers, but Terry Rozier, I mean, that's really I think his playing career is probably done. If let's say this, I wouldn't say done because we've had guys like Kevin Porter Jr. um who are back in the league after doing what he was accused of doing, right?
Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges, in my opinion, what they did is significantly more harmful than what Terry's being accused of. So you can never say never, but this his season is probably done because he's going to have to go to court, and there's rumors that it'll take 6 to 12 months before a decision is made, and who knows what happens as a free agent the following year. A guy that's going to be 31, 32 years old by the next season. So I'd say maybe he's the guy with his stock being the lowest out of anybody else on the roster.
Definitely, for sure. And I agree with you on the Jaime piece. Like, He had 17, 10, and 6 tonight, 8 for 12, super efficient. He just looks healthy.
He
So
does. He looks like he
that's
lost
the
some weight
key.
too. He looks lean.
Yeah, last year, like you could tell that groin was bugging him,
Yeah.
that ankle was there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he played 8 less minutes per game his
Mm-hmm.
sophomore season than his rookie season. That plays a factor. His role essentially diminished and changed as well. So
Yeah.
like not only did his minutes go down, but his usage went down. He was standing in the corner versus more in that mid post,
And
which I
two
think
big
that's the
things,
key.
two big things that people don't realize as well. Jaime played really well off of Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler, and they were not there. You know, if you're gonna play a slow game, those two guys probably saw the court best and would catch Jaime with those ghost cuts and so on and so forth. In addition to the fact that he wasn't healthy, now you see him, he looks fluid. They're playing fast. He doesn't have to second guess. He's just moving. Spo is making these kids move, and he's like, don't think, just go. Because when they start to think, even Bam has been making quick decisions. He's shooting, he's not guessing, he's not stopping. He's just going. And the turnovers that they're making, they're not bad turnovers. They're just like, I rather these turnovers than the ones where they're like second guessing themselves.
Yo, what? Yo. We ready to win the championship or what, bro? Let's yo. Tell that dog John Moran who a pigeon now. Who a pigeon now? Yo, that's the best. Yo, bro, putting up 145 points. I'll never think I'll see this the second game of the season. The way this team plays with their slow pace, the last couple years, and then we come out this year losing the first game, which we should have won because Spo doesn't know how to coach properly, having Khalil Weir bench down the stretch, and then he starts in this game, and then guess what? We blow them out by 30. But not only that, right? Not only that, our captain is finally aggressive. Finally, where we've been pushing him to be aggressive all year. Last season, the season before, and he comes out and puts 18 or 20 points in the first quarter, and we beat them in that first quarter. The game was over after that first quarter, dog. It's the little things that matter, bro. And I've been telling people, yo, we need to have Jovic come off the bench. That's his role. You can't have him in the starting unit. I just don't think that's the best fit. You have him come off the bench to do that 20 points, right? With Jaime, I heard y'all talking about Jaime. He just looks fresher. These are the guys that we're relying on for the future and now. So I'm glad they're playing a little bit better. And, don't be surprised if this team, I said it all offseason, we're top 6. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to have more wins than the Lakers this year. We're going to shock a lot of people. I'm calling it now, bro. So, you know what I mean? Keep grinding the mayor. I know we haven't talked in a while. We got to get some content out real soon, my man.
For sure, man. Like, what do you think about Jaime Hawkes, though, Trent? After last season, he was not great. He had a sophomore slump. We talked about it, how he was possibly injured. His role was diminished. But, like, after these 2 games, like, is it too premature to say he's back? Like, is rookie Jaime back? Like, he looks spectacular, in my opinion.
Man, listen, it's too soon to be saying people are back. I'll give you that. But what I will say is, right? What I will say is, Spo kept his word about the offense and said we're gonna have a fast-paced offense, right? So that's only gonna help Jaime continue to keep playing better. Like it's simple as that, and all these other players. So I'm not gonna say he's back because a little minor injury can set him back, and the same thing for Jovic, right? Like these players, they got injured these last couple of years, so like. We don't want that to happen, but, it's a long season. Stuff typically happens. But I'm encouraged of what I'm seeing because if he plays well, that's only going to make the bench deeper. You know what I mean? And then we're going to have Davion come off the bench. So now you have a unit where you have Davion, Jaime, Simone, if he continues to keep playing like how he is playing today. Jovic, like you can mismatch people. And people are not talking about this. Paolo Larson's hardly playing right now. Like he's hardly playing. So he's gonna get in the mix of that too. So like I said, I'm not gonna get my hopes up too yet with Jaime because anything can happen. But I'm encouraged what I see.
I'm encouraged about the bench specifically tonight. Like I like seeing Nico coming off the bench as well, playing that point forward Lamar Odom-esque type of role, running that second unit. Because like when Tyler comes in, we just become even deeper, which is just incredible. Because that second unit that came in the first game against Orlando, Gio, was horrendous. Like we're up in the first quarter and we're only up by like 5, 6, 7 points, but we were in control in that first quarter. Then we subbed out Bam. Norm, and we put in Drew Smith, Nico. It was Jaime, Wiggins, and Kalel, and like we just did not have a go-to guy. Like Andrew Wiggins wasn't being aggressive enough. Like he was being passive. I don't think he took even a single field goal in the first quarter, even with that lineup. Like we were running the offense through Jaime essentially, which was kind of rough. And then in that second quarter, Andrew Wiggins started getting more aggressive. He went to the rack. He had a couple of those, his famous turnaround, fadeaway kind of jump shots that were going in. But that's where we lost momentum to take like a double-digit lead early in the game. We got a double-digit lead in the third quarter in that Orlando game. We also had an 8-point lead in that game. But
Amir,
what do you think the depth's going to look like though going forward now when Tyler comes back? And Trent, hop in after Gio real quick.
I think the depth is going to look nice because once Tyler gets back, you could start you could bring Davion, you have Nico, you have Jaime. Those three are probably going to be the main guys, and then if Simone continues playing at this pace, he'll be the fourth guy. But you can also mix in Pella and then run a 10-man unit. You know what I mean? So the possibilities there are really, really endless, because man, I love Drew Smith, but I'd rather he be like the third string guy. You know what I mean? Like let's leave break in case of emergency kind of deal. But that really I think that raises the ceiling of the team if you allow these young guys to just play more freely with that second unit.
For sure.
listen. So the crazy thing about it too is this whole offseason, a lot like I was so big on Palel, and like it seems like he's out of the rotation right now. Like he's playing, but he's not playing, right? So they have to figure that out because Palel needs to get on the court, in my opinion. I really like him as a basketball player. Like I just think he fits the Heat culture. So they got to figure that out. But another thing too is, and I don't know if he plays this year. We'll see. Spo don't play rookies. KJ is going to come back from his injury, and I'm gonna ask you about the Terry Rozier situation after this. But our three guards are going to be Mitchell, Smith, and KJ. And I mean, if you want to put Tyler in there, sure. But if we're running our young guys, like, do you think KJ gets a chance to play this year? Like, I think he should. But then again, this is Spo at the end of the day. But if he's coming back and that connection already will wear, which we've seen already, he's a good passer, and we need that playmaking ability to get guys open shots and make life easier. So, do you think he plays this year, Amir?
I think it's when Tyler comes back, I think there's less of an opportunity for him to play unless there's injury, because we have the depth now with Tyler, just in general guards, not point guard, but we have Tyler, we have Powell, we have Drew, we have Davion. He's technically our fifth guard, if you will, if we don't count Pella and put him as a small forward with Jaime Jaquez. So we already have four guys ahead of him. The one thing though, like if injuries occur, I think then he might be able to leapfrog Drew Smith, perhaps. Like I would hope you would invest in him over Drew Smith, even though we re-signed Drew Smith, but it's such a small contract and a 2-year guarantee. The saving grace for him, though, I would say, is his mentality on the defensive end. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like. Essentially, like when he actually plays against actual NBA talent, like the preseason is not the same as the regular season. But he is very defensive minded, which is a good thing. Like Spo's not going to play you, and he's not going to trust you as a rookie unless you could play defense. And I don't think he's going to be able to play effectively.
I'm not worried about this kid. I think this year's a redshirt year for him. I think they want to have him go through a year of the culture, just kind of like what they did with Bam, where Bam played, but they really let Whiteside get the brunt of the minutes. And they structured Drew's contract in a way where there's like no guarantees, I believe, in that second year. What I will say is this, though. I am not worried about that kid. He's been a pro since he was 14 years old. He's going to be okay. I think he's going to have a nice career. I was given some comparisons of some guys that I think he's like a poor man's, in terms of like the numbers that he can give you for the course of his career. He's like a poor man's Goran and Mike Conley. right? Like I don't think he'll be an all-star like those guys were. Maybe he could be, who knows? But I think he's much better than both of them defensively, and he's a much better passer than both of them as well. Like he can pass the hell out of the ball. He has crazy vision, and he's a much better defender than they both were. But I think he can score in similar ways over the course of his career, rather, that those guys did. Like I think he can be a guy that'll get you, 13 or 15 points per game in his prime, but he'll be known for dishing the ball and the defense that he can provide.
What do you
Now,
think?
let me ask you a question, right? Because I was going to say this after what I said. This might sound crazy. It's only 2 games into the season, but hey, listen, anything can happen. This is the NBA, right? If the Miami Heat continue to keep playing like this, right? Remember, there's no star player out there. You could say Bam, whatever. I don't really, whatever. Okay. There's no technically star player out there. There's not a player that needs the ball all the time. We just play team basketball, right? If they continue to keep playing like this and they continue to keep winning games, they did not give Tyler a contract extension for specific reasons. Does that make Tyler more expandable to let him go or trade him or somewhat? Because if they're going to put up this amount of points and play team basketball and win without him, we already know what he does in the postseason. I'm not saying we do it. I'm just saying there's that. This is the NBA, right? You let Jimmy go. What's your thoughts on that?
Uh, I'm not the biggest Tyler guy, but I don't think he's gonna go anywhere. I think he's gonna stay right here, maybe at a smaller number than what people might think. If it was me, man, I would have moved him for like Donovan back when they had the chance, or whoever, whichever one of those guys I wanted to come here. That's just me personally because I'm more a fan of dudes that can play both sides of the ball.
Me too.
Unless you're a Luca, right? But there's only 2 or 3 of those in the league, right? But I think he's gonna stay here. They love him for their reasons. And I think in their head they're saying, wow, we're playing well these 2 games. Just imagine how well we can play once Tyler comes back. I think that's how they're thinking of it. I don't think they're thinking of it as, let's move this asset for, 2 or 3 first round picks. I think they're thinking of it more as, hey, we could be even better once he gets back.
And I agree with you on that part, but also Tyler said himself he's not taking a discount. And so if we're paying Tyler anywhere near 40 to 45, if it gets to 50, I don't want this bum on my team. We don't know each other. I hated Tyler for the longest. I dealt with Tyler because he's on my team. You know what I mean? Like there's things but Tyler is not a good postseason player. I don't care what anybody says, right? He had his best season last year, but then went into the postseason, looked awful. I don't like Tyler to me is just like, I agree with you. I think he's staying. But like they have to figure a decision with this dude Tyler because it's like they love him so much, but he's not an A. I don't even think he's a B. I think he's a C option on a good team. He could be a B, sure, whatever. But this dude you can't give him that much money. And so I don't think Tyler takes a less. His agent's not gonna let him take less. So they got to figure out that whole contract. Because I keep hearing, oh, well, they're trying to wait to 27, 26 and free up all this cap space. Well, you ain't freeing nothing up if Tyler's your number one guy and you're paying him $45 million. Simple as
So,
that.
so there's been twice where he's spoken about it. The first time is the one that you're referring to.
Yeah.
More recently, he even was quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, like, it won't be as much as what some of you out there are saying. That's basically like paraphrasing what he was talking about. Um, I don't think this is like a Jimmy Butler situation per se, but I think they worked something out. And the fact that they didn't pay him less now means that obviously the amount will be higher later because you add the additional year. But we'll see. I think this is a prove it year. This is what they wanted to do with Jimmy, but Jimmy wasn't willing to. We're going to see this year how well he plays, and according to that, I think then they'll make a decision. But we'll see, Trent. We'll see how it goes this year, and I'm excited, man, to see how far this team goes. I think they're a second round exit at the end of the day, unless they make some moves. But either way, I'm excited because I think that surpasses anything that anybody else was thinking about going into the season.
That's
For
fair.
sure.
I just feel like and like I said, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, play both sides. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think he stays. I think he gets paid. But I've been trying to get this dude off my team forever.
I'm
To
there
be
with you,
honest,
brother.
yeah,
I'm there
I
with
just
you.
try to get it like no matter what. But the last thing I will say is though, right, and this is a question to both of y'all. Um, you know how fast our offense is and stuff like that. Do you guys think it changes a little bit with Tyler coming back, right? Like, do you think it slowed things down? Do you think they continue to keep playing this way? Like, what do you guys think? Because like obviously something will change. Like you're getting your best player, your best scorer, dude that needs the ball in his hands. You know what I mean? Like, do you think stuff changes?
I don't personally. I mean, I don't know about
Yeah.
you, Gio. I think Tyler, he's young and like he fits that mold of he doesn't need to pound the ball himself. Like I don't think he needs to play
No.
hero ball, right?
No.
Pun intended. Like he could play off ball. Like he was actually playing a little off ball even when Terry Rozier was our starting uh,
Correct.
point guard last season next to him. And you know, Terry didn't look like horrendous the first week, like after the first week he did, but he was playing off ball. He has a very like he's very good at catch and shoot 3-pointers. He shot like 43% or something like last season. I don't know if it was the entire season, but like at a very high clip. So I think it's going to benefit Tyler Hero. I think he enjoys playing at a
I,
faster pace.
I actually think teams are going to be in trouble. And the reason why I say this, if you look at the actions that they're running, the initial trigger is usually the guard is about 45 degrees. And then you'll see Bam or Khalil set a screen off ball for like a Norm. Usually it's Norm that initiates the trigger.
Like a flare
If
screen?
yeah, he'll initiate that, and then once Norm gets the ball, teams if they help. Now keep in mind, if it's Tyler making that pass, they can't help because Tyler's going to be wide open and shoot the three. Norm will just kick it right back to him. Okay, so that's out of the question. So they can't help. So if the big comes and goes to Norm, what does that mean? Well, it means that Khalil and Bam are just going to be lob recipients,
Dunk recipient. Yeah, they'll be dunker
right?
split all day.
Now, if the team, right, if there's someone that rotates, like let's say you're playing against Golden State, who's a great defensive team and they have the vets. Let's say they rotate, they take away the lob. Then you have on the other end, you have Wiggins wide open corner three. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think this is going to be something that's going to slow down until the playoffs, or you have one of those big like knockdown, drag out games with OKC or Denver, where the game just calls for it to be an old school Miami Heat game. But I think for the most part, especially with during the regular season, it's going to stick. I think the playoffs, we'll see how that works because that's it. Not even the Phoenix Suns from the D'Antoni era could continue that pace in the playoffs. It's just a different game. Possessions are more valuable.
Defenses tighten up,
What
obviously.
what I will say to that though, right? You know what I mean? Like I never get too excited because like in my so like you look at the NBA, right? You be like, damn, bro. Like example, you got the I don't know the Clippers. Like yo, this on paper looks amazing, right? I don't know, right? And then like you go out there and they play and it's like they just never gels, right? And I'm not saying this team's not gonna gel, but sometimes I just try not to get too hype about things like this until I actually see it happen. Because like everything you said is it could happen, right? It could be true and stuff like that. But then like then Tyler's out there and then we just start looking a little worse or something doesn't go as well as we planned it to be. So I just try to wait and to see all this stuff to gel and play together. Because at the end of the day, like I don't care what anybody says. Tyler is ball dominant. He's gonna want the ball, and he is gonna do Tyler things, shoot a lot of shots, because that's what he is. He's our best player and do all that type of stuff. So I don't know. I don't think stuff changes, but you got to think about that stuff too, in the sense of like it sounds good, but let's see. That's mainly what
he
I'm saying.
he's uh he's definitely a ball dominant guy, but not if you look at stats in terms of guys that are holding the ball for a long period of time, for a guy that scored as much as he did not have the ball in his hand. Like usually when he would catch the ball, it was a few dribbles. Think of like what Norm has been for us, but just Tyler maybe pounded it a few more times. Um, when Tyler's dribbling too much, it's usually because nobody else can get open or nobody, you know what I mean? Like it's a grenade situation.
It's a forced
It's
situation,
a it's a
or he's
force.
getting blitzed and double teamed, and he has to dribble more.
Yeah.
And he's going to get better at
It's
finding
not like
figuring
a
out the
it's
situations.
It's not like a Lance Stevenson pound, 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 pound. No, it's mostly because like he's getting doubled and he has to draw the defense back, but it's never like a Jordan Poole. Tyler's not like that.
Tyler's also
Um,
limited in that sense.
correct,
But like that's
correct.
another thing too. But which is a good thing for us because I don't want to see that. But he's also
Mm-hmm.
limited because
Mm-hmm.
like he's not a great ball handler. He can.
It, it's not so much that he isn't a great ball handler, it's just that he has a negative wingspan. So for him to get around the guy without getting stripped, he has to really have tremendous footwork. That's really what it's all about. You know, there's guys that are shorter than him that, like for example, um, Kyle Lowry even had like a bigger wingspan than Tyler did, and Kyle Lowry was 6 feet. So, those are limitations physically that are going to impact you. So he has to really work on his angles and body position and things to that sense.
Yeah.
Fair. Now I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all had a great show. Let me get y'all opinion on this Terry Rozier situation, man. Both of y'all, man. Let me know what you got. I just got this alert that he's getting his full salary. Now this is from a Twitter page, so Twitter pages don't want to be telling the truth. But I just want to know y'all opinion on this situation. Like, what's your thoughts?
I mean, if he's convicted, he's probably gonna be banned from the NBA for
Yeah.
life. He's not convicted yet. Like this whole thing has been pretty shady that the NBA knew through the sports book that there was suspicious activity and they flagged it to the NBA basically saying there was suspicious activity and that was unbeknownst to the Miami Heat. And so based on the NBA's investigation, like he wasn't I guess he wasn't in trouble, right? But it's still shady that they knew that there was something going on behind the scenes. And right now, everything's still allegedly, right? Like he hasn't been convicted, so this is all alleged. But allegedly, if he is convicted, then I think he's going to be banned
Yeah.
forever. I mean, he doesn't have that much. He didn't have that many years. His trajectory, the way he's been playing the last couple seasons, he probably had like 3 seasons left anyway. So it's not like he was a young, promising guard who's
Hmm.
23 years old where he blew his entire career. Like he's 31, 32 years old. Like he probably had a couple years left anyway. But if he's convicted, then he's done. If he's not convicted, I think he's done this year while they're investigating. Maybe he can come back, right? If he's not guilty. But I feel like his career is over at this point.
Yeah, I think the saddest part of it all is that and even Adam Silver spoke today during one of the games. He was in, I think, the Amazon Prime game. He was being interviewed, and he said, basically we did the best that we had with our capabilities, but the government has more access to things. We sat down with him. He gave us our phone. We didn't find anything suspicious, yada yada yada. But if you knew this was going on and you allowed a team to enter into trade negotiations, I think that Miami should get either their pick back or cash considerations because the team and the NBA were made aware of what was going on. Yet shortly thereafter, he was still traded. So it's a bad look on the league. I hope Terry is, I know people joke about it, and I've even joked about it, like, oh, hopefully they ban him so that he can get that off the cap. Listen, the guy had a bad year. Even the year that the Heat traded for him, he was playing well up until the neck injury. You know,
Exactly.
he was
Which
playing really
killed him.
well.
Yeah.
He had like 35 against the Knicks, and they needed that game. I hope that the guy, for the sake of his career and for the sake of his name, his legacy, like this isn't true. I hope this is just, hey, he was talking to a buddy, hey man, I don't feel well. I think I'm gonna miss the game, or if I play, I don't know, I'm gonna test the foot out and see how well I do. And his friend, unbeknownst to Terry, said, you know what? Let me place a wager. But that Terry wasn't like literally connected to it, because that'd be a bad look, man. You've made over $160 million in your career and you're gonna try to get 100,000 more. Like, so that's why I hope this is not true. And the Heat seem pretty bummed about it because he's been a great locker room guy. So man, we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it turns out for the better and it's not a stain or a black eye on the league.
I'll be honest with you. I'll say my thing about this whole thing. I probably won't say it online. I'll probably say it offline. Man, this ain't looking good for Terry. I'll say that straight up right now, dog. I don't listen. I'll just say that. But I honestly though, my opinion though, I thought Terry would actually have a really good year for us. If he was playing for us, I actually think he would have had a better year. Just because how bad he was last year, I actually think he would have played well. Just because he knows his career is slowly ending and he knows he needs to play well just to stay on a team, I actually think he would have helped his team out a little bit. But
I agree.
that court process is going to take that's going to you're not going to know nothing for close to a year. Court processes take way too long. So he's done for now. We ain't going to hear nothing about the story. We might hear little updates and stuff like that. But I'm more shocked about the Chauncey Billups situation too, because that's insane. But the poker stuff, but yeah, man.
Oof.
TMZ, we got drama. All right, so before we close, we're playing the Knicks on Sunday. So big game. I think it's the home opener, right? On Sunday. So what's your guys' prediction against the Knicks? Do you think the Heat can continue this traction offensively and pull out the victory at home?
I think it's going to be a tremendous game, and I think the Heat are going to fall short.
I think
What do you think, Trent?
I think this is a big test for us early in the season, right? The Knicks are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, right? They're 2-0. And so we'll see what we can compete with and what we can't compete with during this game right here. Because they got firepower everywhere, right? They're a whole different team. They have a new coaching staff, more depth. So if we can hang with them and slow them down a little bit, I mean, I think we lose this game too, but I won't be surprised if there's a third starting lineup. I just want to be surprised with Spo.
I will tell you this. If I was Spo, my strategy would be, and I know they're going away from pick and rolls, but I would do any action that requires Cat to play defense.
Yeah,
I'll milk it.
He's so slow. So slow. He can't guard a pick and roll to save his life.
That's the only guy in that starting lineup you could even attack. Like, I mean, Jalen Brunson too, but he's better than Cat on defense. I would say, like, one-on-one matchup, like, perhaps.
It's just easier. It's easier to pre-switch when you have Brunson because Brunson can kind of recover, but you can't pre-switch with Cat. Like it's gonna be really hard. He's just really slow-footed.
Yeah, Bam needs to take him off the dribble. We'll see.
I'm gonna go with you know what. Now we ain't losing this game, dog. You know, we gonna win this game. We're gonna prove a lot of people wrong. I think Norman Powell drops 25 points. I think Bam drops 22. I think Khalil Ware has a double-double. I think Davion Mitchell has a double-double as well. We're gonna come out. We're gonna shock a lot of people, and
I like it.
You know what I mean? Like, I wish we met before, Gio. I was a negative Heat fan. Negative. Because they needed it. Let's be realistic. They needed it. This team was bad. You know what I mean? But this year, I'm going to come with more a positive approach.
There you go.
I think that's what I got to do it this year, man. You know,
until they start sucking again, then you're going to be like,
oh yeah, that's true. Until they start sucking, but just a little more positive approach, right? Because I actually said in my video, I had a 5-game stretch. I actually predicted them going 3-2, right? So I actually had them losing to the Magic and beating Memphis, and then we had the Knicks. I had them losing, but I'm gonna change that. And the next 2 games, I had them actually winning those games. So we'll see what happens, man. But keep grinding, Amir. I don't know if you do YouTube, GO2 or Twitter or whatever, but you know, keep grinding out here, my man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Nah, no doubt.
Thanks for having me
on, guys. Guys, really appreciate you guys hopping on this post-game live show. Huge win for the Miami Heat. We're 1-1. Hopefully we could beat the Knicks, take that momentum, because we're going to have a pretty difficult West Coast trip early on in the season, playing at San Antonio, LA, both LA teams. So it's going to be a tough schedule early on. So we need to stack up as many victories as possible. We need to protect home court when we can. So I'm hoping we could beat the Knicks. It's up in the air. I think it's 50-50 at this point. But can Nico continue playing well? Obviously, they didn't play that well in the first game, except for that first quarter. But can Jaime Jaquez keep building on these first 2 games? Can Khalil Ware potentially start again and get a double-double, to Trent's point? We just need the young guys to really carry us and to a certain degree, because we know what Bam's going to give us. We know what Powell's going to give us, what Davion's going to give us. We need guys like Jaime and Jovic and Khalil to continue to step up. So we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much.
Hold up. Do we really know what Bam's going to give us? Because I feel like every other night is different. Do we really know what Bam's going to give us?
Yeah, he's gonna give us like 8. He's gonna give us like 18 and 10. Like
I'm a huge Bam guy, Trent. I'm a ride or die Bam guy. So
That's fine. If you're a ride or die, you got to be honest with Bam Adebayo. This is the most offensively. I'm so sick and tired of this, and I want to actually have a video about this, not now, later on. But I'm so sick and tired of the excuse. Well, he plays both sides. I'm tired of that excuse. Well, he's out there playing their best player. So offensively, he can't give us this and that. I am so tired of hearing that. Bam, you shy away from a lot of shots. You have the shortest people on you said, man, I'm just not gonna pass. I'm just gonna pass it. He just needs to be dominant. If he can be dominant, that's all I ask for you, bro. You don't have your best player. Can you please be dominant like you did in the first quarter? That's all I ask. That much.
Trent says, "Yeah, I just need you to be dominant," as if there's like 3 guys in the league that are dominant.
But
Hey,
like
my man, when you
dominant
get
isn't
paid
like
money-
the top 3 defender and also like a top
Hey.
20 offensive player. That's a
Hey,
lot.
Amir, this is facts though. You get paid that money, bro. You're gonna be in those conversations to be dominant. It's simple as that, bro.
Look at the pay. Bam's not even making 40. There's guys making 60.
Next year
dude,
he will be making.
You
50.
realize that extension is gonna come in, all right? And
Oh, it's
that
gonna
money,
come in, but not right now.
But you know damn right that money coming in, he gonna get paid that.
And I'll tell you this, when he gets paid 53, you're gonna have guys like Karl Anthony Towns getting paid 72.
Yeah. Hey,
So-
but even so, this is not the best comparison, but the last guy I remember getting money recently was Christian Braun, who's making like 26. If Bam is making 50 and he's making 26, he deserves double Christian Braun money, even though Christian Braun helped the Nuggets win a championship against the Miami Heat, but he's not Bam Adebayo
Yeah.
impacting the game, right? Like,
Wait,
Yeah.
no, I agree. So wait, you're telling me Bam, you like how Bam plays right now? I'm honest because I never met a Bam fan, so I want to talk to you.
maybe I'm a Bam fan.
I'm a huge Bam guy.
So you like what he does offensively?
I mean, listen, I wish everybody that I liked, everybody on the Heat was giving me more, but I mean, I'll take a guy that's going to get you 18 and 12 and 5 and lock down the other team's best player any day, that has 3 All-Stars, 2 Olympic gold medals. Everybody wants to play with him. You know, he's like everybody's best friend on the other team, and there's a reason why guys want to play with him. I'll take that any day. Do I
Dude.
wish and do I see that he could be more than that? Yeah, Bam could be a 25 point a game guy, but I'm cool with him being an 18 and 12 guy, and I'm not frustrated with it because at this point he is who he is.
and I want more, and we're not going to win a championship anytime soon. So, like, if he becomes that third option on a winning team, if we somehow added,
I mean,
Norman
he
Powell
has
third-
been on several winning teams as that second, third option.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough, and like if we slid him down to the third option, we could have won a championship possibly, right? But we didn't have that. Tyler was hurt.
Or if him and
Goran.
Goran don't get hurt, they beat the Lakers. I don't care what anybody tells me.
So
Most
that's
likely,
cool.
yes.
That's fine, right? But my thing is, right? This is where I had to disagree on some things, right? Because and not necessarily disagree, but the front office is making Tyler and Bam the number 1 and number 2 guy. So when you're put in that position, you have to play up to that standard, correct?
Yeah,
I guess so. Yes.
I think the bigger issue is the front office, not the players.
Well, so yeah, we could put it on the front office, right? The front office, so not necessarily on Bam, but the front office is pushing these to be the 1-2 guys. They're gonna pay them as 1-2 guys, and we don't get the production. Tyler, we get the production in the regular season. In postseason, just I don't know, right? But Bam is just like
So you're Trent, you only look at production as points per game. Then is that what you're telling
no.
me?
I look at production as being. So this is why I look at production, right? Points per game, being able to stop the other side. Because the problem with Tyler is, right, being a 2-way guy. The problem with Tyler will give you 24 and then give up 30. Then it's all empty. None of that matters to me, right? Then also just little things. His playmaking ability needs to get a little bit better, right? You got to continue to grow as a basketball player. We all know you could give us 30 a night, but let's get your other teammates involved and stuff. So those little things like that. Even you don't got to be the best defender. I'm not telling you that, but at least go out there and don't be a cone. He has improved a little bit, but we need a little bit more, especially with this team, right? So those are the things I look at as a complete basketball player for Tyler senses.
Yeah, but also think of like how much better Bam is than Tyler is on defense, and he's only 5 points per average less than him, right? Like even
Bam is a better player than Tyler overall by a lot.
By
It's
far,
not even close.
by a lot. It's not even close. I agree. And dude, all the stuff that Bam does that's not even on the box score, the screens, one of the best screeners in the entire NBA.
So hold up.
Undersized
box
rebounder.
outs.
He box outs for other people. It's team rebounding, right? Like that doesn't go on the stat sheet.
I think he's led the league 3 years in a row in box outs.
So okay, now I'm not necessarily saying what you guys. So why does Draymond get hate then? Because if you want to talk about the little things, he's the best at all of that.
Listen, Draymond, his stats are nowhere near Bam's stats.
That's because but you got to realize though, right? You got to look who's on his team. He doesn't need to do that type of stuff defensively, right? Draymond is one of the top defenders in the league.
So if you put Bam on Golden State, you think he gets the same exact numbers as Draymond?
He gets way more.
No. He
way more.
He does it, but the thing is, for Draymond, Bam doesn't look to score, but he does at the same time. If you watch Draymond, does he look to score the ball? He be at the rim.
He can't though.
No, he could stop it. Every basketball
not like Bam though. Bam's a better shooter than Draymond.
Nah, Bam is.
No, but this
the
is the thing.
The only thing Draymond does better than Bam is he has championships, and that's because he's got Chef Curry and he had KD.
Well, maybe a little bit on passing because he's
playmaking. He's way better than Bam.
Not way better, but better.
No,
I agree.
Playmaking way better. 100%.
I agree. Not way better, but he's better.
And
it's your playmaking's better when you have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson around you. I could play make around with those guys. You can too, Trent. But I know.
I feel like I don't know, bro. I just feel like people just hate on this dude when this dude brings. That's the type of dude you would want on your team. To be honest with you,
I love Draymond too, but I think Bam is a much better player. Well, I think the only year Draymond was on Bam's level was that 2015-16 year.
I was more just asking a question because if you're bringing up the little things, right? I was you know what I mean? And then
Draymond does little things for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I was about to say something that was really gonna be something interesting for y'all say, but damn it. I forgot.
All right, we'll close there then if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I'm good.
It was a few minutes ago, but thank you guys both for hopping on so much. I appreciate the time. And on to the next one. I'll see you guys soon.
Take care, fellas.